Welcome to Pretty Lies and Alibis, a podcast dedicated to the Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell case. Join us as we seek the truth and travel the long road to justice. Well, it's been a hot minute since we've been on here.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, so Fruit Loop was out of town all last week in New Mexico on a mission trip. And how did that go?
It was really good. You felt like you were in a third world country.
Yeah.
No news, no TV, nothing, because there's no signal, no cell signal until you get close to Albuquerque. So
wow, I don't know if I could last out there, Fruit Loop.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it's nice every now and then to sort of unplug, because it's really funny when you go on mission trips. We don't talk much the week before you go, and then like you'll be home 3 or 4 days before we see each other.
Yeah, it's a mission trip, jet lag, coma, whatever. Yeah, I slept till like noon today.
Yeah, that's all right. You got to get your body straightened out. It's not easy after 40.
Oh, watch out now. Watch it. So what you been up to?
Oh, man, I spent the week gutting my house, just going through and getting things that we're never going to use again. And I made about 10 trips to the dump. And yesterday we got a kitten.
Uh-oh.
I've never had a cat. And I'm just going to put this out there. It's sort of like, okay, this cat is 4 weeks old. The mom gave birth and abandoned these kittens. And so my grandmother's hairdresser has 7 of these. And I went over to help her put up some security cameras because she's older and a little bit worried about people coming in her yard. And I fell in love with this black cat with really, really blue eyes. So I went and got it yesterday, but yeah, it was like having a newborn. I was up all night long. Like every 2 hours, this thing was yapping at me and I just didn't sleep solid.
No, I'm good.
It's super cute though. I love it already, but it's got a little hurt arm. We had to go to the vet today already. But
you know that's a leg, right?
I haven't slept. It's every time that cat would stretch, it's like having a baby. I'd wake up. It's like that mom's spidey sense, something's moving that needs me. Yeah. Well, the front leg or, oh my gosh, arm, whatever it is, it's up there.
It's front leg.
It's front leg. Okay. So it's hurt. And now, so I have this 4-week-old kitten that's on antibiotic and pain meds.
What? And this isn't funny by any means, but you're the one with the bad. Isn't your right knee bad?
Oh, it's terrible.
So now you got a little matching kitty.
I know. We kind of limped together.
Yeah.
So I stayed really, really busy with online school and all that jazz. And but yeah, it was a productive week for me.
Okay, I got to tell you this one thing. So I saw a new insect while I was out there.
Oh, is that what you showed me the video of?
Yeah.
No, I'm having nightmares tonight.
So we're painting in this foyer of this church, and this thing starts coming out the wall. And this was like 1 a.m. And so my friend Sarah, we're like looking at it, and we're like, what is that thing? So then you get intrigued about what it is. And then you remember, oh, we're in New Mexico. We probably don't want to know what it is. So we didn't figure out that night what it was. It was a cross between a scorpion, a tarantula, and it kind of had like little antenna, like ant type things. Mm-mm. So the following morning, we're sitting at breakfast, and the guys come in because they stayed in another area. Excuse me. And the guy goes, look at what crawled in between my legs when we were sitting on the porch last night. Well, he shows me a picture of it. And me and Sarah look across because there were some ladies staying in the church. And if we'd have told them that was there, they probably would have never slept the rest of the week. So, so we both look at each other across the table and are like, that's what it was in the wall, except the one that was in the church was way bigger than what they saw. So,
I saw a picture.
It's called a vinegaroon.
Yeah, it's like a 2020 bug. Murder hornets and whatever that thing was.
Yeah. So he said because they killed the one down at the place where they were staying, and he said it smelled like vinegar. So I guess that's where it gets his name, vinegaroon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll bring you one next time.
No, I'll pass.
A friend of mine said, why didn't you bring it to me in a jar? And I said, can you imagine trying to get that through TSA? Be like, oh no.
Right. This is my pet bug, Reggie.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, I saw a picture. It is as horrific as it sounds. And I'm going to have nightmares if I even sleep tonight with a kitten, but whatever.
Yep.
So you were out of the loop for a whole week, and I told you the only time I'm going to text you is if murder charges come down, and you didn't get a call.
Yep.
You didn't get a text.
Nope.
We're still waiting on that, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But we typically have a very strict little policy on the show to not talk about things that aren't officially verified, but we feel like now we can. So while you were gone, Fruit Loop, 2 people reached out to us separately that knows Melanie Pawlowski. And we were told that she has delivered approximately 4 to 6 weeks ago is what they're hearing. And they haven't said anything publicly, I guess, on social media. We don't know if it's a boy or a girl. Don't know a name or anything like that. But we kind of thought it was okay to put it out there because it's October. I feel like she would have had it by now anyway. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But 2 people that know her and have known her for quite a while both reached out. And then there was somebody, I believe, on Reddit that had said that Melanie and Ian had recently moved near where they were, and they saw her out, and she definitely did not look as pregnant as they had seen her. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
So what do you think about all that? I mean, are we going to see some charges for Brandon? What do you think?
I think so. I don't think there can't be any.
Right.
Just with everything that went down with all that.
Yeah.
I think there has to be at some point.
You know, I think because the one thing I did do last week was sort of scan the groups online and stuff. And of course, we talked about it the last time we were on, which is people are getting very nervous that there are going to be no murder charges. And we totally disagree with that. But, you know, I was thinking it might be good if the prosecutor came out kind of like they did with Charles and said, you know, there are charges coming, but we're not there yet. I almost feel like that would really calm the public down, because even people that don't follow the case that I know have said, like, are they ever going to charge them with murder?
Yep.
I just kind of feel like a statement like that would really just kind of be nice for everybody.
Yeah, it kind of calmed the waters a little bit.
Yeah, because a lot of people are just, you know, some of the stuff I've seen were just back to that kind of speculation of, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? I just think that would be a good thing to do.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
So if you're listening, give us a message. No, I'm just kidding.
Send us a sign, please.
Yep.
So while you were gone, we passed the very sad anniversary of when JJ died. And I would like to, maybe sometime soon, do a special for JJ like we did for Tylee, just to honor him individually and talk about him a little bit. But we're coming around to those 1 year anniversaries for everything.
That's what I was about to say. Like it's been a year for almost everything that's happened.
Yeah. I think the last thing really is December for Alex dying, but we're coming up on Brandon. We just passed the 1 year anniversary since he was shot at. And then what's next, I guess?
I think Tammy's death.
Yeah, her death. That's right.
Yep.
We have to be close to those results. It seems to me like there needs to be something put out there.
Yeah, I know Nate was on Dr. Oz, and I don't know when that was, because I've been trying to read up because I've missed so much. But I know it wasn't before I left, I don't think, because I don't remember seeing any of that. But he said on there that the prosecution is just taking their time. And like we said from the get-go, they're not going anywhere.
Right.
They got, the bond set so high, and they're in there. They're not going anywhere. So I want them to get it right. I don't want them to mess up and then somebody get off.
Right. And that's super important. I think throwing the public a bone, as, public as this case has been, I always say COVID really contributed to how big this case is in the media, because we all got bored. I never thought I would touch a trial with a 10-foot pole. Again, I loved what I did. It's just sometimes it can be very taxing because you're just sort of looking at the worst of humanity on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And I was really tired at the end of it. And I enjoyed my break. But, this case has been pretty steady as far as just chatter and active groups. But we were just talking about we're going to have to pick up some other cases. And you guys have given us some ideas. I was thinking definitely about the Roden murders. That is the, I believe it was 8 people in Ohio that was shot, and they've arrested a family of 4. Seems to be a custody dispute that was sort of the heart of the motive. And then, what was the other one? Well, that one is going to be a big one, I think. You've got 4 separate trials going on.
Yeah.
So we're going to look into some different stuff because honestly, I think that once we get these other hearings out of the way, there's not going to be much news.
Yep.
We've seen it for the last few weeks. This is bone dry.
Yep. So what's up with the change of venue stuff?
Well, when you were gone, I think it was actually the 21st, Mark Means filed for, actually he filed documents asking that the charges that she has in Madison County be transferred over to Fremont. And, then later that day he filed for a change of venue from Fremont, but that's normal. That has to happen. In other words, like the 2 filings have to happen. He has to file to say, we want these charges combined, and then he has to file and say, but we don't want it there.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of all. That was pretty much it. There was a media request, I think, from Nate at East Idaho News to be able to film the hearing, which will be later this month for Chad.
Yeah, I think what's the 29th?
Yeah. And do you know what those are for?
I think that's the change of venue, the joinder.
Yeah. And I think that's going to be super interesting. The change of venue, not really. You can kind of predict what his arguments are going to be. But for the joinder, you made an interesting point earlier about, Chad wanting to be separate and Lori not.
Yeah, like we were just discussing because you try to wrap your mind around what they're thinking. What would be the pros of that and the cons of that?
Yeah, and we sort of touched on that on the last one, but the point that I made was for Lori to not want to agree to the joinder was interesting to me because at the moment she's charged with less than Chad.
Yeah. And we know from past cases of other things that normally when you're tried together, they normally find you guilty. It's odd for them to find one innocent and one guilty.
Yeah. And I mean, for Chad, I don't know. We may have a little more insight on the 29th because for the objection to the joinder, everything I've read and watched said that Pryor is going to have to put up some sort of a defense and give reasons because apparently what he put in that paperwork, according to legal analysts, it's not going to cut it.
Yeah. What is it? It's too much media attention or something.
Yeah. I don't even remember the wording about the joinder, but a lot of legal analysts have said that's just in itself is not a good, whatever reason he gave wasn't good enough. So I think the anticipation is on the 29th, we may start to get a little bit of a foundation of Chad's defense. What is he going to say? How are these cases different?
That's a good point.
So
yeah, he's going to have to say something.
I think so. And so I'm really excited to cover this on the 29th. We're going to live tweet it like we did the last ones. We'll definitely be doing a podcast probably that night. I think this could be revealing in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But do you not wonder if maybe Lori do you think she's still wrapped up in the cult mindset? Or do you see what's hard for me is I don't know if it was all an act.
Yep.
I don't know if she truly was just sort of in this cult. I don't know. I wish I could crawl in her brain for a minute.
Yeah. At first I was thinking she wanted the joinder so she could sit next to him. But then I think, well, she had different opportunities prior to this to see him on camera.
Exactly.
And chose not to come. So that was weird for me.
And see, when that happened, I could have sworn that she was flipping.
Yeah.
But, is it a situation with Pryor and Means being in the same building that Means kind of heard from Pryor? Yeah, Chad don't want the joinder. And this could have happened when those hearings were going on, which is before, obviously, before it was put out there. Is it a situation where maybe she found out Chad didn't want the joinder and she was sort of pouting and didn't, maybe she was sending him a message like, I'm not going to see you.
Yeah.
Because when you're in jail, you don't really just, get to like pick up the phone. They're co-defendants.
Exactly.
So they can't talk. Or no. They're not co-defendants yet. When they're named, if they have a joinder, I think they'll be able to talk.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know. Look, we're in like reunion mode here, and my brain hasn't switched back over to podcast mode.
My brain's mush, I'm telling you.
I'm sitting here thinking, I hope the kids aren't letting the kitty cat like run around.
Yeah, they probably are.
Thanks. That's reassuring.
They are. But yeah, I don't know. You made some good points earlier, and I had it on the tip of my tongue, and it's like bouncing around in my head. I was just going to bring it up, but I don't even know what it was now. See?
Welcome to my world. Usually you're making fun of me for forgetting what I was going to say. Yeah,
and no, I was okay till you mentioned the cat thing, and then I was like,
me, I get distracted.
So Mark Means filed some stuff, you said?
Yeah. Well, we talked about that. We talked about, him wanting those charges combined. And he said it would be for the convenience of the parties, the witnesses, and in the interest of justice. And then with the wording for the change of venue was that a fair and impartial jury trial cannot be had in Fremont County. We all knew this was coming. This isn't a surprise.
Yeah.
And then we were talking about money. I don't see how Lori has any money unless somebody is secretly funding her legal defense.
Yeah, and Chad can't have much left.
No, because it was 130 something thousand, and that was what, February?
Yeah, I think that was before like Lori was in and all kind of stuff. So
that's right. So if you think about it, we went through this before. 5 attorneys for her before she landed, or once she got into Rexburg and had the 3. Before they quit, it was 5 attorneys that they've had to pay for her. And now we know at some point Chad was with Mark Means, and then he wasn't, and now he's with Pryor. So I don't see how they have money.
Yeah, me neither.
And so I was kind of wondering, is her family maybe funding her defense? But we just haven't heard anything since they found the kids' bodies. They put out that statement, and then they've gone off the grid.
Yep. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just very curious. I'm sure there are a lot of ways that Means could do this case for, it doesn't have to be cash money. Is he anticipating writing a book later? Is he anticipating some kind of a movie? Or I don't know. I don't know legally what he is allowed to do and what he's not allowed to do. I know Jodi Arias' former defense attorney wrote a book.
Yep.
But I'm just curious. It's, I'm surprised we haven't had some kind of a hotshot nationally known like Jose Baez come in and want to defend the both of them.
Yeah.
Some of these high profile lawyers, they thrive on these kind of clients.
Yep. But they're not touching this one.
No, nobody's touching this one. And I think it just goes back to, if you look at the trail of bodies,
yeah, I would run the other way.
It's going to be an uphill battle to convince anybody these deaths before the kids were, what they say they were. And I don't know. Is it that? Sometimes these guys like those kind of cases that seem impossible.
Yeah.
But who knows? There's a lot of time to go. It's October. I just feel like there's got to be bigger charges sooner than later, because then you're starting to get into the months where we're getting trial ready.
Yep.
And I don't know. I've just seen people say you can't charge them for this and get a conviction and then go back and get them for murder.
Yeah.
So I've never found a clear answer, but sort of from what I've read is like, yeah, it's going to have to be before this trial.
Yeah.
So maybe in that case, we get it a little bit before Christmas. I don't think they would drop these charges right at Christmas time. So maybe like this month, next month, something.
Yeah. And I trust them. They know everything. Like if we knew everything they know, we'd be like, oh, this is fine. They're not going anywhere, but we don't know it all. So we think, oh, they might get off. Oh, they might not. So. Right.
And on Reddit, there are verified accounts where people who are family members or close friends and have been verified as such. The topic came up about no murder charges, and somebody in the family said, you don't know everything they do, and there's more out there. And so it was kind of just without saying much, it was a reassuring post that you guys don't know much right now.
Yep.
There's way more where that came from. And we've always felt that way, but we're getting late in the game. It's October. What
Yeah, we're like, no, we want it now.
I can't remember Chad's trial. I think it's January. Is it January? It's maybe. I think the charges, if they're going to come, they got to come like sooner than later.
Yeah, I think it'll be there. So April, Raymond was on Dr. Oz, right?
Yeah, and I didn't watch all of it, but I sort of glanced. And the one thing I hadn't heard her say this, and I'm sure she probably has, but was that when Lori came out to gather her as part of the 144,000, I know she had told April that like she couldn't bring her kids, but the way April said is like you have to leave your kids behind with your husband. They can't come with you. So then it started me thinking back, because the motive for the kids for me has never been, I've never been convinced one way or the other. 1 minute I'll think it's, the cult.
Yep.
Or the next minute I'll think, she just doesn't want to deal with them, whatever. It's insurance money. I'm super interested to see if either one of those kids had life insurance policies.
Yep.
I don't think we've ever heard that. And that may come out at trial. But man, just think about how brazen to go see a friend of yours that you haven't seen in a while and say, hey, you need to come with me, but you got to leave your kids.
Yeah, like who does that?
Yeah. And so I don't know if she's on the witness list. I'll have to look. But going back to the joinder, the one thing we were trying to figure out is if she's going to use mental health as a defense, they had to notify the court within so long.
Yep.
But we don't know if that's something that's going to be posted on that Idaho cases of interest where all the filings are put, or if that's because it's a defense or, something that'll help her. Is that just something they privately submit to the court? So if we have I know we have some lawyers who listen to us, shoot us a tweet or like a Facebook and let us know if she were to claim mental illness, would that go through privately and not be something the public is entitled to know right now? Just super curious about that.
Sure. Yep. So another thing she said on there was that her behavior, it wasn't, I forget what word she used, that she seemed like she thought she was going through a nervous breakdown. It wasn't like I'm going to kill people type thing. It was just weird. Yeah.
And she sort of named off a couple of things because I heard you over there watching it and I sort of had one ear tuned in.
Yeah.
And she said, she's going through a divorce. She had just become a grandmother, which to most women is like the coolest thing ever. But she thought maybe the way I listened to it was maybe she thought that could have contributed to sort of this crisis.
Yeah, her mental breakdown.
Yeah, and I guess maybe for somebody who's very vain, becoming a grandmother might not be as joyful as it is for most women. It's confirmation that you're getting older. But I thought that was an interesting statement, that maybe, and kind of like, why would April say that? Does she sort of know Lori that way that signifies she's entering a different phase of her life that might not be, easy for her?
Yeah. I would like to see that book because April talks about the book about the light and dark, that it's like a book.
Oh.
It wasn't like one page because all we've seen is like 1 or 2 pages.
Oh, we're going to find it and you're going to read it.
Yeah. Oh, no. I've had to read. Yeah. Okay.
You're the resident reader around here. Come on.
Yeah. So I would love to just see who he marked as light and dark through the whole thing.
Well, and if you think about all the emails. We always talk about the evidence we haven't seen, but there's going to be a lot of emails back and forth between Lori and Chad that may even expand on all this, or even emails before all the killings started.
Yeah.
We just don't know. They took a lot of electronics from Chad's house. They took computers, phones, everything.
And that's the thing. A digital footprint does not go away.
It is not.
When you think you've deleted, you have not deleted.
Nope. You're right.
Nope. So.
Yeah, my kids actually, I had scanned, years ago, I scanned some pictures of me in Cancun and I put them on an old computer. And so my son has Amazon photos on his PlayStation and it's tied to my Amazon account. And there's like pictures of me from when I was maybe like 21 in Cozumel or Cancun or somewhere. It was like, Mom. Nothing ever goes away, guys, ever.
It's not going
It
anywhere.
wasn't bad pictures, but it's your mom partying in Cozumel.
Yeah.
So no, nothing goes away. I hadn't seen those probably since before I had kids. I think I scanned them in and put them on something. And yeah, they're on my son's TV. Just, me like with, what do you call, I think it was Southern Comfort in my hand, which goes to show you I was young and dumb, because who drinks that? I don't drink it all now, but ugh.
I thought that was a magazine when you said that.
Southern Comfort was my CB handle, by the way. Breaker 19. Did you have a CB handle? Totally off topic.
We had a CB, but we did not have a CB handle. But we did, when we went on vacation, would radio and say, Breaker 19, where's the nearest McDonald's to mile marker or whatever it is? And they would always, truckers are awesome. My granddad was a trucker, but they're just awesome. And then they would come back on there.
Yes, we love truckers, because you think about COVID. We didn't realize how much we needed these guys until things started running short.
Oh, yeah.
When you can't get TP for the bathroom, thank your truckers.
Yep. But
man, hats off to those guys and gals out there doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Southern Comfort was my CB handle.
That's funny.
So cheesy.
Yeah. And then the famous line was, how about the 501, which is like a highway here. So you're asking, like, was it was it traffic bad or something? So yeah.
That was fun stuff.
Yep.
I should get one for my Jeep. That would be really fun.
It would be, but you got to have I don't know if you do, but we used to have this big antenna on the car. It's like this big magnet antenna.
Wait, we had that friend that had the speaker. It was a CB thing, and we could yell at people while we were driving down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Just like a speaker outside your car.
Yes.
I would totally go down Main Street and be like, you're jaywalking.
Yep. Woo! I'm going to pull you over. Yeah. Yep. But yeah, that was cool. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I had dreaded wearing the mask on the plane.
Yes.
I'm not getting paid for this advertisement, but if you fly Delta has taken so many precautions. They didn't sell the middle seat. Like, I had a row to myself the whole time because nobody was on the inside.
That is the best.
Yeah. But they had taken so many precautions, it wasn't bad at all. So
that's really good. Yeah, I haven't flown since COVID. I'm ready to fly somewhere, but I'll wait till things calm down. I need to get out of this town. Yeah. I mean, I've been out of town, but not like anywhere exotic.
Yeah. Well, I was in New Mexico. Is not exotic there.
You were playing with like the demon bugs.
It's so dusty there. They have not had any rain out there, so it's like really, really dry.
Yeah. And
yeah, like everybody's sinuses were tore up. Something was growing out there that messed with your sinuses. So everybody's like, "You got COVID."
Yeah, I know. Flu season's coming out, and like allergy season, and it's gonna be like, I saw a meme. It's gonna be like Salem witch trials. Yeah. Somebody's gonna sneeze, and we're gonna scoop them up. Yeah. But I think that was kind of all we had. This is just a really kind of a get our feet wet again podcast. We're going to look at some different cases. And you guys like I said, you've given us some really good leads on that. So we're going to dive in this week and see what we can find. And then we'll still do a lot. I think we could probably do at least once a week on this case. Yeah. Because we can still dig into other stuff and avenues. There's a lot of research we still want to do on the Wayback Machine. And I found a couple of other avenues where we might be able to find some older stuff. So we're still going to be doing all that. Hopefully we get some good news about some charges. I think this month will be kind of normal, at least one a week, because we're working up to those hearings. And then after the hearings, we'll definitely have some topics. But so we're going to look and we're going to see, and we'll have to change the intro because it's not going to be dedicated to this case forever, I don't think. Just once the murder charges come down and we get these hearings out of the way, we're going to have obviously a couple of months if the January trial goes off. And then I think Lori's is maybe March. See, my dates, I'm so slow. I haven't looked at anything.
I haven't looked at anything either. I'm telling you, 2 hours difference. It's only 2 hours, but it was a big 2 hours difference.
Yeah. The last time I went, anywhere. No, I went to Los Angeles. That was 3 hours. And I did okay going out there. Coming back, it really hit me. Yep. But I'm telling you, when I went to England with my daughter and we came back, I did great going out there. Coming back, it took me a week. Yeah, I couldn't function. I bet people thought I was high all the time because I would just doze off mid-sentence. So I feel you on that. Yep. And
Like I'm telling you, it's 8:15 now. 8:30. I want to be at my house in the bed asleep. So
well, why don't we end this so you can go home and get into bed at 8:18 on a Friday night?
yeah,
I am not
that's
judging.
so bad.
That's all right.
I'm okay with it though.
And then we're gonna be changing the YouTube channel. We've got to we want to do things really different on that. Even different than just the sliding pictures. So bear with us. I think maybe that's something we can focus on when things are a little quiet. I may end up and redo most of the podcasts and put some animations with them or something. I don't know. So we'll find things to do related to this case. I think the website probably needs a little overhaul too. So we'll tweet out what we do and when we do it. And in the meantime, if anything happens, we'll hop on.
And keep asking questions.
Yes.
It gives us something to talk about.
And I have not been super active with the comments in the last week. So
Slacker, what you been doing?
I've been gutting my house. I took like 30 bags of junk to the dump. Like the dudes there, they're like a couple of old guys that just sit in a chair and watch people pull up all day and put their they were, the first day they're like, "You need help, ma'am?" And I was like, "No, I'm good." And then like by the last day, they're like, "What's going on, Gigi? Yeah, how much junk do you have in your house?" But no, so I just was super busy doing that, but it feels good because I'm going to get new flooring after the first of the year. So I wanted everything to be done to where when that happens, my house is finished.
Yep.
So, well, you guys have a good night and good to have you back, Fruit Loop, in one piece.
Yeah. Yep. Good to be back.
All right. Awesome. We'll see you guys later.
Good night.